Douglas Murray isn't Jewish, and he reminds us that when you turn to the book that guided your forebears, you will know exactly what to do. Very powerful words he shares here. When a defining moment comes in history, right? Do you rise up to the occasion? You do when you have guidance, when you've been educated, when you've studied that book that gives you the definition of who you are. Many people have defining moments that rise up and they fail the moment. Let's hear how he expresses it so eloquently.
And when I returned to the UK in December, I bumped into a politician friend from Westminster and I was extolling the virtues of the IDF, with whom I've been embedded for much of the last year in Gaza and Lebanon and elsewhere. And she said to me, isn't it remarkable that extraordinary events throw up these extraordinary people? I was singing the praises of the amazing young men and women of the IDF as they battle the death cults of Hamas and Hezbollah. And this politician said to me, it is amazing, isn't it, Douglas, that this young generation has stepped up to the challenge, has answered that question of whether or not their generation is fit for the civilizational challenge. And she said, it's extraordinary the way in which events throw up people. And I said to her, there's a tweak we need to do to that analysis, which is it's not just extraordinary events that throw up extraordinary people. It's extraordinary events when they come up against people who have been extraordinarily well cultured. And what I mean by that is that it's not enough that a civilization or a generation comes across a defining moment. It is that when that happens, you know what you're fighting for. It is that you know you're fighting for your faith, for your family, for your people, for your tradition, for your way of life, and very much more. Clever people can sometimes say very stupid things. And in a recent interview, Yuval Noah Harari, who wrote *Sapiens*, was asked if there was any book that he would recommend that people could read in the present to understand the future that's coming. And he said no, he couldn't think of such a book because change was going to be so incredibly fast. And I said a couple of days later at an event in Jerusalem, that's flat out wrong. Change has always happened. And if you want a book to guide you, how about having the book that guided your forebears?
This is very, very powerful. You know, sometimes when we study the Torah, the Bible, we find it as, some outdated book that has interesting ideas, but it's not really practical or relevant to me. Actually, the Torah, which Torah means Horah, a lesson, guidance, is all about guiding us in our lives today, now in the modern world, just as in the ancient world, because the principles and values remain the same. I just heard how Tony Blair was once on a flight with the chief rabbi, former chief rabbi of the UK, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, and Rabbi Sachs was studying the Torah, and Tony Blair got into the study with him, and he said, "My life was changed from that." How was it changed? He said, "It's the first time I understood that the Torah was speaking to me now." If you have studied the Torah and the way you've heard it until now was as some ancient thing, you have the wrong teacher. Get yourself the right teacher, which you can do on many, many podcasts today or YouTube channels. Find the right teacher who shows you the relevance of the messages that the Torah speaks about then to what's going on in the world now. You will be deeply enlightened, and we will be a people who fully know what we are fighting for.